We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
In my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Airman Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans?
Oh, Deb. I'm Kamala. Okay. Happy 50th birthday to hip hop. people think of me, okay, they think hip-hop. I grew up in Oakland. I'm wearing this shirt. I scream hip-hop. Hip-hop! So yeah, I'm into hip-hop. I want to give it up, okay, to all the greats. So Missy, TLC, ODB, DMX, okay, ABC, and LGBT, okay, Q, Lil Nas X. Giving it up. We here at the residence, it's lit. That's a word I have said before. A wise, okay, man once said, to the window, to the wall, okay, to the sweat, drop down my balls. Skeet, skeet, motherfucker. Skeet, skeet, goddamn. Those words are poetry, okay? I mean, it rhymes. So technically, that's poems. Happy birthday, hip-hop. Kamala out.
Today is today. And yesterday was today yesterday. Tomorrow will be today tomorrow. So live today. So the future today will be as the past today as it is tomorrow.
All right. Hello, everyone. Let's get ready to get into it. Likes up. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on. I'm sending something to posting something on my Twitter real quick. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please get those likes up. Please like and share. Okay. Let's see who we have in here. And listen, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right. And also, if you're not following my main channel, the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show, please be sure to subscribe to that as well. And if you don't like what the queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, so the Prince of Paraphernalia is in here. Nessie X, okay. Terry Hinton, Timber Dan, Obsidian Blaze, 504 Nola, Miss Elvira. Okay, Bithia is in the house. Danielle, Jeff ATL, Anita Harrell, Juju is here. Mega TV, Khalid Harleen, Priscilla Lewis, Perplex, Deronda. All right, let's get into it. And shout out to everyone in the chat, all of my loyal royals, and shout out to my moderators putting in work. Okay, I really appreciate my moderators because they have jobs to do. They work. They're busy at work sometimes, and they're still in the chat trying to help the queen. So I really appreciate them. So you all, please be sure to get some fire emojis in the chat for the queen's moderators. Please, could you put some fire emojis in the chat for the queen's moderators? All right, they be making things happen. All right, hey Laverne, Mary Searcy's in the house. Claudette, Elaine is here. Buckhorse DC, Obsidian Blaze. All right, so let's get into it. Okay. Desmond said, you're welcome, queen. Anything for you. Thank you, Desmond. Y'all know I love my moderators and my loyal royals. I'm rifling with crisis here. Vince, I am from the UK. Juju said, I want to be a mod too, queen. All right, Juju, you ain't said nothing but a word, honey. Juju, beloved, I would love to have you as a moderator. So I'll make you one after this broadcast. Okay, please pay attention. James is here. All right, so let's get into it. Antoinette Clay. Likes up. Y'all know I love my royals. So let's talk about these nefarious Democrats if we can. Now, I'm going to start off with Nancy Pelosi, okay, with her drunken self. Y'all know Nancy be hitting the vodka bottle, right? Allegedly. Y'all know that many a time she seems to be inebriated when she's been speaking. Did y'all know that? And also, FYI, she actually knew that she was to blame, if not fully, but partially, for the January 6th insurrection. Okay, and so we're going to get into all of this. But first and foremost, someone told me, and I cannot remember who it was. If that person's in the chat, please let me know. But someone told me the other day that there was an email where Nancy, or shall I say Nasty Pelosi, as I call her, was telling the Dems not to do anything for the Black Lives Matter people, not to support them. So in essence, saying don't support Black folk. Okay, please pay attention. There it is right there. That's from her email. Okay, tactics. Meet with local activists. Now, this is during the George Floyd protesting, okay? And see, this is what I keep telling you guys. The Democrats give us symbolic gestures. They don't ever do anything beneficial or substantive. They knelt on their knees for 8 minutes and 46 seconds with kente cloth. Okay, remember I told you all about that. And then they sat up there and did that little foolish dancing and singing for Juneteenth this year. Okay, and they looked so ridiculous. Kabami and her husband were there. You know, they were all faking the funk and clapping off beat and all of that. Y'all know how they do. And speaking of Juneteenth, they gave us that as a symbolic gesture. They don't really care if they made that a federal holiday, because here's the thing. They're going to profit off of it through capitalization, okay? They're going to profit off of it through capitalism, all right? All of these companies are going to be selling stuff for Juneteenth. They're already doing it. They're going to be selling stuff for Juneteenth just like they do for July 4th. And who's going to benefit from it more so than them? Not us. Not us, okay? This is what they always do. They never do anything significant. Kabami's not going to do anything either if she gets in there, okay? Please pay attention. And you can say, well, Trump's not going to do anything for us if he gets in there either. Well, he may not, but here's the difference. For 50 plus years, we've collectively as a people, as a nation, we voted for the Democrats. So I'm sorry, but they owe us. Now, on the other hand, Trump doesn't owe us anything, but the Democrats absolutely do. But all they continue to give us is a perpetual system of benign neglect. And this further proves my point. So let's talk about it. This is what Nancy Pelosi told them. Tactics. Meet with local activists. If approached by BLM activists, campaign staff should offer to meet with local activists. Okay, invited BLM attendees should be limited. Okay, please aim for personal or small group meetings. Listen to their concerns. Don't offer support for any concrete policy positions. She said, don't offer support for any concrete policy positions. And what does that mean? Well, I'm so glad you asked. That is benign neglect, okay, and full throttle. Because when you use the policy of benign neglect, you don't ever specifically, no, I'm not going to do anything specifically for Black people. No, I'm not going to say that. Kamala Harris, that's what benign neglect is. You don't ever specify, you don't ever specifically say, promise, or vow that you're going to do anything for a specific group. Sometimes you do little things like pandering to make them think or hope or wish that you would do something for them. But in real life, you're not going to do anything. And this is all they do is pander and then paint narratives. Now, behind closed doors, she said, don't offer support for concrete policy positions. And then remember, I told you how they could have passed the George Floyd bill and didn't. And then when it came around for the Republicans and they didn't pass it. And then here they come, the Democrats pointing the finger at the Republicans, knowing darn well they could have passed it themselves. Okay, then goes on to say frontline district staff should meet with activists. Okay, so basically saying, yeah, go ahead and meet with them, but the ones of them that you let in, they should be limited. Okay, try to do it personal or in small groups, and don't promise any support for any policies and positions, any concrete policies or positions. Don't do that. In other words, don't do anything for them. Just go out there and talk to them, just a few of them, a small group, or just personally talk to them one-on-one, and then just act like you're going to do something to help, but you're really not, and we know that. That's what they do. And I want you all to pay attention because I'm sick of it, and so should we all be, okay? But this is the Democrats. Now I'm going to go to a collage of videos of Nasty Pelosi, okay? And I want you all to pay attention because in this last video, I believe it is, because I have several videos strung together, shall I say. But in the last one, she pretty much, in my opinion, exposes the Democrats. She exposes them for filth. Okay, and so let's go to it. I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
I wanted to ask you why you and your husband back in March of 2008 accepted and participated in a very large IPO deal from Visa at a time there was major legislation affecting the credit card companies making its way through the through the House. And
Well-
did you consider that to be a conflict of interest?
I don't know what your point is of your question. Is there some point that you want to make with that?
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, do you think it's all right for a speaker to accept a very preferential and favorable stock deal?
Well, we
And
didn't.
you participated in the IPO.
Well, I have many
And at the time you were
investments, but that
Speaker of
doesn't-
the House. You don't think it was a conflict of interest or had the appearance
No,
of a
it was
conflict
not.
of
It
interest?
doesn't. It only has the appearance if you decide that you're going to have elaborate on a false premise. But it's not true, and that's that.
Is
As to
Vice
whether
President
that
Kamala
was an
Harris the
argument.
best running mate for this president?
He thinks so, and that's what matters. And by the way,
think so?
she's very politically astute. I don't think people give her enough credit. She's, of course, values-based, consistent with the president's values and the rest. And people don't understand, she's politically astute. Why would she be vice president if she were not?
Do you think she is the best running mate, though?
She's the vice president of the United States. So when people say to me, well, why isn't she doing this or that? I said, because she's the vice president. That's the job description. You don't do that much. You're a source of strength, inspiration, intellectual resource, and the rest. I think she's represented our country very well at home and abroad.
But do you think she is the best running mate, though?
She's the vice president of the United States. So when people say to me, well, why isn't she doing this or that? I said, because she's the vice president. That's the job description. You don't do that much.
But do you think she is the best running mate, though?
She's the vice president of the United States. So when people say to me, well,
Pelosi, aka the Democrat, tells an Asian woman to go back to China. Let's get right to the video.
Most of your constituents want stop the genocide, stop the Holocaust.
Democrats want the ceasefire. The Democrats want the ceasefire. The Democrats want the ceasefire. The Democrats want the ceasefire. I have no connection with China. Is allowing the murder of thousands of people. She said we should talk to China because we're China supporters. I guess she fell for that New York Times article, or maybe she planted it, that Code Pink is controlled by the Chinese government, which is a load of bullshit.
We did this because we've been trying to get Pelosi to sit at the peace table with us since 2007. She's not been willing to talk to peace activists in any meaningful way since then.
Now, can you guys imagine had those same words that came out of Pelosi's mouth would have been said by President Trump? It would be World War III right now. But Pelosi says it a Democrat, and it's okay. It's a two-tier party system, man. Anyway, I'm done talking about it. Y'all drop a comment. Let's talk about it. Get at your boy.
President Biden, what you said this morning. Personally conveyed to President Biden what you said this morning.
I'm not having any conversations with you or anybody else about what I talked to the president about. We don't do this all.
Do you believe that?
I never do. I never do. So it's nothing new.
I understand, Madam Speaker. Do you believe that him waiting so long to make this
I'm not
decision?
going to make any comments in the hallway about the fate of our nation. Okay?
I paused it for a second because I wanted to ask, do you all see how Pelosi's walking? Why is she walking like a bobblehead? And she just looks like she's inebriated right then and there. And also, now I want you to pay attention. Now, in the beginning clip, that man was asking her about some inappropriate things that she was alleged to have done. Okay, she denied it and all of that. But at the end of the day, she likely did it, in my opinion. And this just goes to show that crooks are operating in the world of politics, and they point the finger at other crooks as if they're not all crooks. Most of the people in politics are crooks. Okay, let's talk about it. Now, also, the Democrats are very racist, just like the Republicans. Let's not try to skirt around the issue and act as though they're not. She sat there and told those people to go back to China and talk to them. Now, I'm sorry, but if she says that to Asian people, tells them to go back to China, what do you think she feels about us behind closed doors? Well, we probably already can assess that after seeing the email where she said not to show them any support on any concrete policies or issues and positions. Okay, so that should pretty much let you know how the Democrats feel about us. They never really do anything, and this is absolutely why, because they don't care about us, period. Now she's telling this black journalist, am I speaking to you in English? We haven't gotten to that part yet, but please pay attention.
Are you concerned whether or not he can win in November?
I think he can.
Do you believe he should run for re-election?
I'm not speaking English to you. I'm not going to be making any statements about any of that right now in the hallway.
If Nancy Pelosi had done her job before January 6th, the breach never would have happened at the Capitol. And now we have proof that she knew she was responsible. This was footage taken by her own daughter the day of the attack.
We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient
That
resources.
is not a question of how they have, but they don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more. The president goes on TV and says, I planned my own assassination. No, I didn't. He did. They're going to hang the vice president of the United States, and they're going to put a bullet in my F-word head. And he will not send the National Guard. People were injured, over 100 law enforcement people were injured. Some people died because of him. And people died again because of his delay and denial about COVID. This is a totally irresponsible person. And again, this Supreme Court would say that a person is above the law, and they've waited months.
Now, right here in this clip, she looks really, really lit, okay? I wonder what she had in her water cup. Please pay attention.
To come to a conclusion about it, it's going to be a very important day for America. It's a diversionary tactic. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You demonize.
Now, I want you all to pay close attention to this last video. This is what she says right here when she really exposes the Democrats and what they do to their opponents. Okay? Please pay attention.
It's a diversionary tactic. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise.
She said you demonize them with falsehoods, meaning to tell lies on them. Okay, please pay attention.
And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic.
Okay, y'all heard that. She said it's a tactic. So they lie on people, and then they publish it themselves and give it to the press. And then now the press starts reporting the same lies that they already told. Now I want you all to pay attention. Okay? I want you all to pay attention because we all know that Trump tells lies, but so do they. So do they. All right? Sitting up here lying on folks and all of that. But hold on, let me show this clip from when she was inside the Capitol during the January 6th insurrection, and she was trying to call for help. And I think she was inebriated then too. Please pay attention.
We have got to finish the proceedings, or else it will have to come to. There has to be some way we can maintain the sense that people have that there's some security or some confidence that government can function and that we can elect the president of the United States. Did we go back into session?
We did go back into session, but now apparently everybody on the floor is putting on tear gas masks to prepare for a breach. I'm trying to get more information.
They're putting on their
Tear gas masks.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. They're just breaking windows. They're doing all kinds of, it's really that they said somebody was shot. It's just horrendous, and all at the instigation of the President of the United States.
Now, that was probably the first lie she didn't tell. It was due to Donald Trump's instigation when he said, let's go down there to the Capitol and fight. Okay, he was given a dog whistle, far as I'm concerned. Now, with that all being said, these Democrats, Democrats as I call them, this is what they do. All the lies. Now, she just sat there and she was probably drunk. That's probably why she told it and spilled the beans. But she sat there and literally said they put out these falsehoods. It's the wrap up. I think that's what you called it. Isn't that what you called it? The wrap it up or whatever. And she said they put out these lies about the people. And then they have it put in the media. And so now the media is reporting these lies. She told Asian people to go back to China. Where do you think she wants us to go? Back to Africa? Because I'm sorry, when people say stuff like that, that just lets you know that they're racist, okay? Racist people are not usually racist against one group. They're usually racist against any group that doesn't look like them, okay? That doesn't look like them. Please pay attention. So at the end of the day, let me tell you something. We don't owe the Democrats a thing. We don't owe them a damn thing. And I want you all to pay attention because, for one, the Democrats have, sat here and tried to get all these immigrants to come. They tried to get all these immigrants to come over here and whatnot. And so that they can just basically vote, like I told you days ago, because we have been asking for things. And that's where they got upset. That's where they got fed up because they know they're not going to do anything. No, don't give them any support. No, nothing on any concrete policies or positions. That's what she said about the Black Lives Matter. So what do you think she says when we're asking for reparations and other tangibles like a hate crime bill? What do you think she has to say about that? Well, she's telling them the same thing, I'm sure. They're telling each other the same thing. Very likely. No, we're not going to do anything for them. Just tell them whatever. We'll put on these kente cloths and round our necks, and then we'll kneel down as a symbolic gesture for the demise of George Floyd. They'll be none the wiser that this is just all fraud. Yeah, that's what they think of us. They think we're idiots. I just want you all to pay attention. At the end of the day, I'm trying to find this clip from Dr. Umar. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, I'll find that in a second. But in the meantime, in between time, now let's talk about Kabami, because Kabami was given the eulogy for Senator Sheila Jackson Lee. She was given the eulogy and she called herself the president by mistake. By mistake. Please pay attention. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Okay, let me just pull this up. I'm going to share my screen. Because whether y'all vote for her or not, she's already claimed it. Kabami's already claimed it. Y'all don't deny her a seat at the Oval Office. Okay, here it is. Now, let me put up my overlay real quick. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds.
Jackson Lee, whose bill made Juneteenth a federal holiday, which as a United States Senator, I was proud to co-sponsor, and then as Vice President, it was my honor, with the President, it was my honor with our President Joe Biden to stand beside Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee as our president signed her bill into law.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Y'all heard it there. Kabami said she's the president. All right. She is the president, honey. Please pay attention. Sierra said at the end of the day, when we vote, it's a suggestion. It's whomever the Electoral College wants. The illusion is real. Absolutely, Sierra, but you can't tell some people that, beloved. You can't tell some people that. I told you all back in 2020 that the whole reason, and you can look this up yourself and do your own research, the whole reason why they created the Electoral College was because they didn't want the public, the popular people, the population, basically, to the populace to determine who the president is. That's what it says as to why they created it. So with that being said, what does that tell you? And they said because basically we're stupid. Now, they didn't use the word stupid, but that's what they really were saying. If you read the context of it, they basically said that they created the Electoral College because they didn't want the populace to choose the president, because we may be fooled by someone who is a dictator or someone who's nefarious, okay? Someone who's what Trump wants to be, okay? So basically said that they would have the Electoral College because that's what really decides it. That's how Al Gore could win the popular vote, and then George Bush was the president. That's how Hillary Clinton can win the popular vote, and then Donald Trump was the president, okay? That's how that works. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to go to the audio of what Judge Joe Brown, I know I tried this the other day and I didn't have the right timestamps, but we're going to go to what Judge Joe Brown had to say about Kamala. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share.
The stuff here already. Plus, I don't want you anyway, you old woman. Get on up.
Before she was the most liberal U.S. Senator, Kamala Harris was the liberal San Francisco prosecutor.
You know, Xi Jinping, is he supposed to be impressed? She's doing word salad. Well, we're here today because China and the U.S. are here today, and that's why we have to agree on what we're doing here today. Like, fool, what did you just say? You know, did you say anything? And I've never seen such a salacious mess as I've seen out of her. I think of One West Bank. I had some pretty good properties out in California at one point in time. And I know I had 3 neighbors who had good properties. It was in a place called Ojai, California. And they got caught up about 15, 16 years ago, like a lot of people did, in that mortgage bundling scam stuff that was going on. And there was a bank called One West Bank responsible for it, which was owned by George Soros. The Mnuchin that you have out of the Obama administration was Mnuchin, who was the CEO of One West Bank. Well, there were approximately 1,200 counts of indictments returned against Mnuchin and One West Bank in various counties in California. Well, Mnuchin and Soros financed and arranged and sponsored Kamala to run for Attorney General of California.
Hold on, let me stop right here, because here's the thing. For those of you who were following me from the jump back in 2020, I told you all of this that he's about to say about Mnuchin, George Soros, and Kamala Harris. I told you all this years ago. Please pay attention.
They got her elected. She got in, and using the authority she had, she promptly consolidated all 5,200 counts and dismissed them. And a couple of weeks later, Soros sold One West Bank for $4.2 billion.
Okay, so I'm sorry, putting people in prison, sending people to prison, innocent people at that, but you're a whole crook because y'all don't think that was crooked. Y'all don't think that was bribery. What was that? That doesn't sound illegal to you. Okay, that doesn't sound like something shady was going on allegedly. Please pay attention.
Oh, after that, they got together and got her finance and got everything organized and made the connections for her, and she got elected to U.S. Senator. Willie Brown made the initial contacts and arrangements so she could get elected as district attorney for San Francisco. She didn't do a very good job. She had a reputation for giving out the stiffest sentences in the United States of America for simple possession of marijuana in San Francisco, for God's sakes. But it was only to young black men. She's not a parent, never had any children, but she went off on this campaign to lock parents up, some of whom actually were shown to have dropped their children off at the school, but they played hooky, so she was putting them in jail. I know my in-laws, now late in-laws, because they're dead, and their fine daughter that I was married to, we were divorced. She got a whole lot of money, but anyway, out of me. What wound up happening was there was a liquor store they like to patronize on the way home, and it was a good liquor store, but it got held up a lot, so Kamala's solution was not go get the crooks, but close down the liquor store so nobody would be troubled by it. See, that kind of philosophy, or you've got the serial killer who's got 6 victims, and the families are writing protest letters to her, not hurry up and do something, not why are you giving the guy such a light deal, is why don't you let this man plead guilty to life without parole instead of delaying it for 7 years, trying to make political hay out of it. I was caught up in a thing where this woman who was supposed to be a financial specialist wound up embezzling a lot, $1.5 million from me, about 15 million from some other black celebrities. And most of it was in the San Francisco area, not LA where I was. She consolidated the cases up there in San Francisco, took 5 years to resolve it, let her plead out not the $15 million of embezzlement, but $35,000. The sentence was 5 years in the penitentiary, 4.5 years suspended, 5 years probation. The woman wound up sitting on a bench outside Sybil Branch, which is the women's detention facility in LA County, for 5.5 hours. That's all the time she served, made no restitution. And la-di-da, I'm through with it now. I don't care on her behalf. Like, where is our money? You know, what did you do here? You didn't even consult with us. You did this on a surprise basis. That's $15 million gone. What happened? It's the kind of thing she would do, see. So it's like...
And where do you all think that money went? $15 million doesn't just simply disappear into thin air. Where did the money go? I have questions, Kabami.
That was not a good professional performance. And then she was everybody's favorite Hindu Indian prosecutor and attorney general and senator, and now she becomes black. But, you know, I met her daddy, fine gentleman, Professor Harris. And the problem with her being black is Professor Harris says he's Caucasian.
Now, listen, I want you to pay attention to this, because this is what Judge Joe Brown, who actually knows Kabami's father, says that her own father says. Okay, please pay attention.
Being black is Professor Harris says he's Caucasian, mixed Irish and Hindu. He doesn't have any black ancestors, but his Irish ancestors owned a lot of slaves in Jamaica.
Now, didn't I tell you all that? Didn't I tell you that man identifies as Indian and Irish? Didn't I tell you all that? But here's the thing. Somebody supposedly posted, according to what someone told me, they said that someone posted a picture of her family tree, and then they showed all these black people who were supposed to be Jamaicans. Well, they owned Jamaican slaves in her family. So with that all being said, are those the relatives they're talking about? But let's continue.
And had them to work on plantation. So if mama is on the birth certificate listed as a Caucasian, daddy says he's a Caucasian Hindu and has no black ancestors, how did she get to be black? Now, a little side story. When I had my show, let's say this has been 26 years ago, I had two beautiful women that I thought were sisters on the show. And they laughed one time when we all went to a happy hour and said, "You think we're black, don't you?" "Yeah, aren't you?" "No, we're Hindu." One of them said, "My mother's a Hindu Brahmin caste, and my father was Hindu warrior caste. He took an oath to the family to protect her. They fell in love, eloped, and now we got a death warrant on us. We can't go back to India." So, yeah, and then they gave me two books. The guys were Hindu, and they were very dark, but they cut their hair off close, grew beards, and started dressing and acting black, and they got financial aid. One of them, I think, went through medical school that way, masquerading for being black. Somebody else did it, so she went to Howard. And by the way, she told one big lie when she was talking about she got bust because of something Biden did when she was running against him. Well, the yearbook that she put out there that you can still get online from her high school in Canada shows she went from kindergarten through 12th grade in Canada, never went to school in the United States of America. She was born, by the way, in the same hospital that my ex-wife was born in, the same 12-month period, and my late mother-in-law was in fact a pediatric nurse in that hospital when Kamala was born. And the birth certificate that she has is interesting because the confusion comes from a mistake. On the birth certificate, it lists the mother's race as Caucasian, national origin into India, and religion Hindu. For the father, it does not list national origin. It does not list religion. It does not list anything about that, but where it says race, they put national origin in Jamaica by mistake. Now, if you've ever been to Jamaica and you go over to St. Elizabeth Parish, you see all the high, bright, and white that live in Jamaica. So I've got a good friend retired from law enforcement. He has a white wife, blonde hair, blue eyes, but she was born in Jamaica. Her parents were born in Jamaica. One's blonde and blue eyed, the other one's redhead and gray eyed. And they happen to be related to the King of England because they are aristocrats in England, but they were born in Jamaica. So if you go over there, you see people from Hong Kong, Singapore, New Zealand, Australia, Kenya, South Africa, you name it. It's part of the British Commonwealth, and nobody needed a passport, and you could just go in and out. So it's not unusual. You're not black just because you were from Jamaica, and they have a whole lot of white people that never left, and their ancestors owned a lot of slaves. The Maroons went up into the hill country and got themselves free back in the 1840s, but you know, other than that, it is what it is in Jamaica.
Okay, I think we've heard enough. And here's the thing. I want you all to pay attention because the other day when I was talking about Kabami lying and masquerading around as a whole black woman when she clearly knows better, okay, she only does that around election time. Okay, in the past 4 years, when has she said anything about being black? Sorry. Okay, but in 2020, she was acting like she was black. She said that Biden was a segregationist who bust, and she was one of the kids who got bust. But Kabami, how did you get bust in the United States when you supposedly lived in Canada? Now, Judge Joe Brown said she lived in Canada. I happen to know that she lived in Canada from at least the ages of 8 to 12. Okay. So with that all being said, she may have lived there longer, but I do know at least in that time frame she lived there. So I just have questions. And with that all being said, here's another thing. Somebody said the other day when I was talking about Kabami, they tried to say that her name, listen to her name, Kamala. First of all, it's Kamala. Okay. We call her Kamala, but it's really pronounced Kamala. All right. What does that sound like? Does that sound black or does that sound Indian? And with that all being said, here's the etymology of her name. Please pay attention. Kamala or Kamala is a Sanskrit word that means lotus. Kamala is used as a feminine given name in Indian culture. Okay, so don't try to make me think that she's got a black name. Sit down somewhere. The name is predominantly used by Hindu families as it is one of the names of the goddess Lakshmi, who was once incarnated as a lotus. So I'm sorry, what were y'all saying again about her being a Black Panther? Okay, I want y'all to pay attention to foolish Nancy Drew with the fake receipts talking about Kamala was a Black Panther. When? When was all of this going down? Okay, when was all this coming down? I have questions. Oh. So anyway, with that all being said, hold on for a second. Let's just go to the pronunciation of her name because I could be wrong. But we still know it's an Indian name nonetheless. Now, and here's the thing. At the end of the day, her race really doesn't matter because whether she's Indian, Black, Puerto Rican, or whatever, I'm still not voting for her. The only reason I keep talking about her race is because I know that she's faking. Okay? I know that she's faking. Now, hold on. I'm going to go to this Indian woman pronouncing the name. Hold on. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go.
She might be the next US president, so let's learn to say her name correctly.
Kamala.
Nope, that's not it. Not even close. Kamala Harris has been in the presidential limelight since 2020. Trump has called her unlikable and even called her this monster. But perhaps what's more unsettling is that he purposefully mispronounces her name to make it sound more foreign. So don't be that person. It's Kamala Harris. It's kind of like Kama plus La. It's not Pamela with a K, and it's not Tony Soprano's wife.
Hi, everyone. It's Kamala Harris.
Okay, I'm off to teach politicians what brat means.
Okay, so you all heard it. You all heard it. So it's not Kamala like I thought. It's Kamala. Now, with that all been said, at the end of the day, Florida native said Kamala, a.k.a. Obama. Obama. Kamala, a.k.a. Obama. I know. That's why I call her Kabami, because her and Barack, they're one of the same, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so with that all being said, I find it all nefarious. Okay, Danielle said, Queen, what's so damn sad is that too many of our people refuse to wake up and smell the coffee. I know, beloved, it's absolutely crazy. Okay, it is absolutely crazy. Now, medical high power says real Black people need to understand skin does not make Black. All Caucasians have a bump on their skull in the back. Real Black people don't have it. Harris is Aryan. Thank you, beloved. I'm so glad you said it. You see, sadly, some of our people absolutely don't get it. And whoever it was that did that video, I can't remember who it was, but I showed you the video where they tried to give us a whole history lesson talking about slaves were taken from Africa and taken to Jamaica and Haiti and all. We already know that. I've told y'all that 1,000 times. We already know that at the end of the day. But her own father doesn't claim to be Black or Jamaican, okay? And neither does she until it's time for election. Oh, and let me just say this. Now, when she went to Howard University, she may have said that she was Black, and that's likely so she could get some benefits. Let's not forget how Rachel Dolezal, who was acting like she was Black, okay, got benefits and scholarships and all that stuff that should have gone to real Black people, not fake ones, okay? So sometimes these people will absolutely do what is it's called, what does Godfrey, the comedian, call it? He calls it be wick. Okay, Black when it's convenient. Black when it's convenient. That's what he calls it. And that's what he says about Candace. Okay. So you all hold on for a second. I'm going to play a video while I get the door.
Difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. But sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it. Too late to apologize. It's too late. When I did it, I was fucked up. It's too late to apologize. I was fucked up. It's too late. When I did it, I was fucked up. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I made.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, so had someone at the door. Now, with that all being said, the lies have got to stop. Okay, the lies have got to stop. Hold on, let me see what y'all put in this chat. Mommy said, remember that movie Soul Man and the white guy turned his skin black to get in a college program? Exactly. Okay, so this is what some people do. At the end of the day, it's all nefarious, right? Don Cornelia said Amber Rose got dirt on everybody. She's an informant. You know what? I believe it because the feds have been investigating her allegedly for crypto scams. So no telling what all she's spilling. Okay. Deronda said Tim Brown had a question for you, Queen. Okay, so thank you, beloved. Let me go back to it. Let me see. Let me see if I can find Tim's comments. A likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. I don't see it. I don't see it. Sorry, beloved. I guess it's too much in the chat. Okay, so Florida Native said, why everybody want to act black, but nobody want to help blacks? Exactly. Okay, exactly. Mad Dog Jack said, let those other people vote for Kabami the Mammy. Not Kabami the Mammy. Okay, I told y'all I'm voting for Dr. Shiva. They can miss me with it, her and Trump. Neither one of them's going to do anything for us as far as I'm concerned. But please make it all make sense. But so listen, let's move on because I want to talk to you all about this beating that these Aryan or these neo-Nazis put on these mixed children, these teenagers, okay? So let's talk about it. And the police still have not filed any charges. It's also sad. Likes up, everyone. Now, here's what it says. This happened in Texas. Aryan Brotherhood of Texas member dodges possible life sentence. Hold on. Is this the right story? Hold on, beloveds. Let me just make sure something real quick. Hold on. I'm not sure if that's it. Hold on. This is another one. Hold on. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. And also, you all remember the story that I reported on the Airman who got deleted by the police? Well, Someone else in that same family has died. Hold on, I'm gonna get to that in a second. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Hold on, beloveds. Okay, here it is. I have so many receipts I can't keep track. Okay, now this was just reported on yesterday. After a brutal Texas river attack, alleged neo-Nazi extremists still have not been charged. One of the alleged attackers reportedly yelled "white power" during the incident. Okay, so a group of neo-Nazis allegedly responsible for attacking a group of people in San Marcos, in the San Marcos River near Martindale, has been identified in an investigative report by the Texas Observer and Bellingcat. Now, the victims, some of which are people of mixed race, report that a teen being called Tarzan, a racially tinged insult, while using a rope swing, and video of the incident includes while they were using a rope swing, and video of the incident includes audio where someone can be heard yelling "white power," according to the Texas Observer. But I want you all to remember, because Kabambi said that this is not a racist country. Now, one of 8 people involved in the attack on the group, and these people were friends, okay? They were out just trying to mind their business, have a good time, okay? Now, this was an attack on a group of friends and family members celebrating a birthday. 5 have been identified as members or supporters of the Aryan Brotherhood, or ABT. Now, the prison gang, okay, which is distinct from the Aryan Brotherhood, Now, which is the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. Those are the ones called ABT. So these are 2 different groups. So they have the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, or ABT, and then they have the prison gang, the Aryan Brotherhood. Now, they're believed to be, the numbers of them is believed to be as high as 2,000 members across the United States. Okay, according to the Anti-Defamation League researcher, Chris Magyarix. Okay, this is what he reported. Now, only one person was arrested by a Caldwell County constable over the June 22nd incident. Todd J. Christian, who's 45 years old, of Austin, of which the Texas Observer identifies as a member of ABT, okay, the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. The Observer painstakingly matched tattoos and other visual clues of Christian, as well as some of the other people seen in the attack. And they matched this due to their social media accounts. Okay, so they say the publication also obtained a copy of a police report through an open records request, in which the bias motivation was anti-multiracial group, is what it says in the report. Christian was cited for assault causing bodily injury, which is a Class A misdemeanor. Now, other individuals identified by the Observer as the alleged attackers in the video with ABT connections are Cameron Christopher Giro, age 30, Todd Jeremy Christian, age 45, Thomas Dylan Mashburn, age 33, James Edward Buzz Turner, age 50, and Aubrey Faye Herpetch, age 28. Now, another individual in the video, Angela Danielle Burkham, age 42, was identified but was not found to have shown explicit support for ABT. Now, MISA reached out to the Caldwell County District Attorney's Office for comment and was told over email that the case was reviewed and there is an investigation to determine whether additional charges will be filed. Caldwell County declined to comment further when asked why charges against other people involved in this attack had not been charged more than a month after the incident. And that's likely because they're not going to charge him. Okay, they're likely not going to charge him. Now, ABT has been dragged into the light several times over the last decade. Federal officials say a landmark case virtually brought ABT to a halt in 2016 after a member flipped following a failed attempt to kill him, which included a gang tattoo on his rib cage being melted off with a blowtorch. Okay, this is all nefarious. At the end of the day, I don't even need to go on, but I just want you all to pay attention. Because the bottom line is they went out there yelling white power and jumped on these folks. Okay? And the police arrested one of them on a Class A misdemeanor, but the rest of them, they've been walking around free, just roaming, doing whatever for the past month. Okay? So make that all make sense. So anyway, let's move on to the next story. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, with that all being said, okay, you all have a nice day. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's talk about it, because Shaquille O'Neal Hold on, I'm getting a text. Okay, so Shaquille O'Neal says that he was disrespected. Shaq says he was disrespected because somebody had the nerve and audacity to ask him for his credit report. He said he was very disrespected, much so because the real estate agent asked him for a credit check. Now, I'm sorry, Shaq, but I don't see why you'd feel so offended. I mean, I know he has money, but don't they check everybody's credit when making big purchases? I don't know. Okay, so here's what they say. Don't ask Shaq for a credit check. NBA legend felt disrespected by agent when trying to buy a home for his mom. So Shaquille O'Neal, the legendary NBA player, found himself deeply offended during a transaction that was meant to be a heartwarming moment for his family. Now, during an appearance on the Earn Your Leisure podcast, July of 2021, the Basketball Hall of Famer described how a real estate agent asked to run a credit check on him while he was buying a house for his mother in 2019. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. He said, I was like, now, this happened in 2021. I don't know why they're reporting this just a couple of days ago. But anyway, he said, I was like, I beg your pardon. My mom was like, baby, don't do that. And I was like, hold on, mama. She just disrespected me. Now, Shaq, who earned $292 million, okay, in player contracts alone, and then continued to grace TV screens as a host on Inside the NBA since retiring from the league in 2011, also has solid business acumen. Now, he wrapped up the story by saying that he confidently asserted to the agent he was more than capable of effortlessly purchasing the home and demanded a 10-day closing period. Okay, so Shaq says when it comes to saving money, he has as much fun and as much of an overachiever at that as he is on the basketball court. Okay. So he once recounted to CNBC the best financial advice that he had never received. He said, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Save 75% of your earnings and put it away. Use the other 25% as you please. Okay, well, now to me, that's good advice. That's absolutely good advice because a lot of people, what most people, in fact, seem to do is spend more than they actually earn. Okay, and that's why you stay in debt. Okay, Nandy says Shaq is a Pisces. 3/6 highly psychic sign, and those nosy agents likely wanted to see his social security number. He could sense something was off. He could buy that house cash. You know what? That's a very good point. Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Nandy. He could buy it cash at the end of the day. And maybe they did want to see, they probably just want to be nosy at the end of the day. But they do ask everyone for their credit reports. I mean, but hey, they know Shaq has money. Okay. They know Shaq has money. Now, Jay Lord said sometimes really rich people are bankrupt and have bad credit. This is true. This is absolutely true, beloved. Okay. This is absolutely true. So anyway, I mean, if I were him, I would have probably just shown her my credit report just so she'd shut up at the end of the day. So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share. Oh, no. I got to show you all one thing before I go. And a matter of fact, I knew I forgot something. I didn't even tell you all about Trump going in about the prison swap. Okay, he was clearly frustrated about it. So let's go to that, okay? This reporter gives her reactions. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Let's get into this real quick because I almost completely forgot. Okay, is it going to load? Hold on, let me try to reload the thing.
Is Cialis Daily better than Viagra? Does it last longer than Viagra? Are trial packs available?
of the United States were celebrating the breaking news of the release. Former President Trump this morning, after the news broke, was posting about Harris's Indian heritage. Now, this is a day after questioning her race. When he did change his angle here and start responding to the news of the historic hostage deal, where the U.S. and its allies got 16 people free and Putin got 8, Trump said this.
I heard that. I heard he said this. Why didn't Trump get him out? And he was taken during that time. You know, I got out 59 different people, 59, and I didn't pay money. I didn't pay money. You know, once you do that, these deals are going to happen more and more because the amount of things, including cash, that we give up is so astronomical. This is a big deal. And they allowed some really rough people out. You know that, right? And they did in the first case of Brittany Griner also.
Now, just to be clear, this was a prisoner swap. No money was paid, none. So the insinuation on that part was false. But Trump's frustration is clear. This is not how he wanted this to go down. He was the one who wanted to make this deal.
Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. I think a good guy. And he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office. Before I take office, I said by literally as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out.
You know, we don't play games. He'll come out. President Putin respects me, and he's going to come out. He's going to come out within 24 hours.
Okay, so now Biden also spoke about the prison swap. Let me just pull this up real quick. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Okay, here we go. The likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Of treason. And now their brutal ordeal is over and they're free. Moments ago, the families and I were able to speak to them on the telephone from the Oval Office. They're out of Russia. Earlier today, they were flown to Turkey, and soon they'll be wheels up on their way home to see their families. This is an incredible relief for all the family members gathered here. It's relief to the friends and colleagues all across the country who've been praying for this day for a long time. The deal that made this possible was a feat of diplomacy and friendship. Multiple countries helped get this done. They joined the difficult, complex negotiations at my request. And I personally thank them all again. And I've thanked them personally, and I'll thank them again. All told, Russia has released 16 prisoners. 8 Russians who are being held in the West will be sent home as well. These 16 prisoners from Russia that Russia has released include 4 Americans, 5 Germans, 7 Russian citizens who are political prisoners in their own country. One of those Russians runs a human rights organization, Memorial, which won a Nobel Prize in 2022. Putin threw him in prison for voicing opposition to the war in Ukraine. 4 others work with Alexei Navalny, political opposition leader who died in Russia prison this year. Now they can live safely abroad and continue their work of advocating for democracy if they so choose. This deal would not have been made possible without our allies. Germany, Poland, Slovenia, Norway, and Turkey, they all stepped up and they stood with us. They stood with us. And they made bold and brave decisions, released prisoners being held in their countries who are justifiably being held, and provided logistical support to get the Americans home. So for anyone who questions whether allies matter, they do. They matter. And today is a powerful example of why it's vital to have friends in this world. Friends you can trust, work with, and depend upon, especially on matters of great consequence and sensitivity like this. Our alliances make our people safer, and we began to see that again today. Let me say this. It says a lot about the United States that we work relentlessly to free Americans who are unjustly held around the world. It also says a lot about us that this deal includes the release of Russian political prisoners. They stood up for democracy and human rights. Their own leaders threw them in prison. The United States helped secure their release as well.
Okay, I've heard enough. I don't know about you guys, but here's the thing. You know, just listening to Biden, you all are so darn nefarious. Now, I don't want to laugh at this man because we all have to get old someday. Okay, and I don't want to sit here and mock him or anything, but somebody said, is Biden blind? What are you talking about? Queen Sam said, does he remind anyone of the man from Poltergeist? What? Oh my goodness, y'all are terrible. Y'all are absolutely terrible. So anyway, with that all being said, listen. Listening to him speak right then and there just further goes to prove that he really had no business running. Okay, they needed to have him step down. It's very true. And in fact, he may need to go ahead and step down right now. Okay, he may need to go ahead and step down right now because with the slurred speech, you can barely tell what he's saying and all of that. Edward said, why is he yelling? I don't know. Kikoba Fett said, a question, if those political prisoners were rescued from other countries, what about U.S. political prisoners that look like us? That's a good question. That's a very good question, beloved. You know they're not going to do that. They don't consider them political prisoners. They consider them thugs, okay? Revolutionaries who they've labeled as thugs, shall I say. And speaking of that, you know, for years, I have written letters to parole boards to try to help some of them get out. More specifically, Shakur. Okay. At the end of the day, they do nefarious things to keep these people behind bars. You know, many of them back in prison on trumped up charges and all of that. Absolutely prisoners of war, as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, so that's why it really bothered me when fake Nancy Drew lied and said that Kabami's mother was a Black Panther. She never was. Now, I'm not going to say she didn't go to some protests and she wasn't an activist in her own right, but at the end of the day, she was no Black Panther. Okay, their struggles was far different. All right, the things that happened to them was far different. Okay, than these people just going around saying they're activists of today. Okay, so please pay attention. Paul Thomas said, good channel, Queen, good content. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Don Cornelius said, Biden yells because his own people just forced him out of the White House. LOL. Scoop said, broadcast live from Shady Pines. Luna said, we need to drug test him. This is all crazy. Okay, so listen, I want you out here what Dr. Umar was saying on the Breakfast Club about the Democrats. Now, I'm not going to put the video up, but I am going to just play the audio. So please like and share. And then listen, I almost forgot to tell you all about Airman Roger Forstman. His relative has also died, a teenager. And so the family is very distraught at this point over the two losses so close together. We're going to get into that. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share.
Your ego no longer wants to lie to her, Charlamagne, and her ego doesn't want to lie to you. So now you start seeing things that you never saw 10, 20 years when y'all were dating, because in close proximity, the ego drops its mask.
Damn. Dr. Umar ain't playing today.
Yeah.
Let's get to it. There's a lot of things to talk about. Do you think President Biden should step down?
Do I think President Biden should step down? I got a couple answers to that. On the one end, presidents don't make the final decisions anyway. Mm-hmm. So because they are puppets, it really wouldn't matter if he stepped down or not. However, from an optics perspective, his showing against Donald Trump in that debate didn't look good at all, even though they only 3 years apart, right? On the flip side, I'm not too sure the Democratic Party is ready to anoint Kamala Harris as quote-unquote commander-in-chief, because as you know, in the post-Barack Obama era, the last thing poor white America wants to see is another Black person as commander-in-chief. So I don't think they necessarily want to go that route. They don't have to. There's others as well. But at the end of the day, both men are extremely up there in age, because I don't want to be a senior shamer, if you would, right? Because seniors are just as capable intellectually, many of them, as those of us in our age bracket. At the same time, they're still the two oldest men to ever run and rerun for president of the United States. But you know what? Doesn't that also speak to the weaknesses in both parties?
That's right.
If Joe Biden is the best the Democratic National Committee has, if Donald Trump is the best the Republican National Committee has, what is that saying about the talent y'all incubating?
That's right.
So what do you think about, blacks loving Donald Trump so much, shaking his hand, kissing his hand, rubbing his back, saying we support him? What do you think?
White Jesus syndrome. We don't care if the white Jesus wears red or blue. We don't care what side of the aisle that they're on. Black America suffers from battered spouse syndrome envy. And what battered spouse syndrome speaks to is the fact that no matter how bad you beat me up, if I believe I need you in order to survive, I'm never going anywhere. And part of our problem, part of the equation to our problem as American Africans, why we don't do anything on our own, is we are often waiting for the great white savior to come. This is a message that has been rehearsed for us in church. We get it in the media. We get it in the black community. So black people will never, ever abandon their hope of a white savior coming to save them. Donald Trump has no record whatsoever of saving black folks. When people ask me, who you going to vote for? At this point, neither one of them are going to get my vote. I consider Cornel West because I love Dr. West. Intelligent, strong, good-natured, but he's a bunny hopper, so he can't get my vote. Now, when I come back to Donald Trump and Joe Biden, I look at the fact that Donald Trump signed 13 federal death executions while he was president. More than half of them was signed after Joe Biden won the election. Think about that now. Biden gets elected in November, sworn in January. Between that time, Donald Trump executes half of those 13 people. 5 of them were black men, and 2 of those black men were presumed innocent. And the attorneys had introduced a stay of execution to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court turned them down, and Donald Trump executed those brothers. So when I hear black men say, I'm voting for Donald Trump because he's going to bring more money and economic vitality into the black community, I say, what about the fact that he's out here killing black folks, you understand, without no remorse at all? Signing those type of federal death warrants. 2 brothers was murdered within 24 hours of each other. One of them was 40 years old, and he was the first person to be murdered in 70 years for a crime he committed as a teenager. And in one of those cases, about 6 of the jurors said they would have changed their decision on the death sentence had they knew the information that the prosecution had withheld from them. That's why the attorney wanted the stay of execution to give the
See, that's what I'm talking about right there. These people are not to be trusted. They all do the same thing. So Trump had these men executed, even though the attorneys asked for a stay of execution, and even though there was possible evidence to show that at least one of them didn't do it. That's the same thing that happened with Kabami when she was in California. Please pay attention. These people are devils.
the defense time to reformulate an argument. In Supreme Court, Snow Bunny, Clarence Thomas and that crew said no, and Donald Trump signed his life away. So you got to look at that. You also got to look at the fact that Donald Trump wants to give police 100% immunity.
That's right.
Wait a minute. Look how they're killing us now. Right. So now you're telling me that anything the police do in their line of duty, they cannot be held accountable for making bad mistakes and bad decisions, and you want to put that back in office? That's thirsty black men worry more about money than the lives of their people.
That's right. The Supreme Court is corrupt.
Yes.
Illegitimate.
Absolutely.
How come enough people not talking about that?
Because I don't think they understand the tripartite nature of American so-called democracy. The Supreme Court, the president, and the Congress, they actually have equal weight, right? Well, they did. But now what the Supreme Court just did was they gave the president a few days ago absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for decisions made in office and carrying out his constitutionally protected duties. That's very dangerous, because what that says is the president can never go to jail even if he commits genocide if it was done in an act of office. So let's say hypothetically Donald Trump or Joe Biden sends the National Guard into New York to quell a black protest, and the National Guard, God forbid, ends up executing 5,000 of our brothers and sisters who were protesting peacefully. Even though it was ordered by the president of the United States, he cannot be held accountable for that. Why? Because he did it in discharging his duties as commander-in-chief. So we don't no longer have a president. We have an emperor. We have a czar. We have a king. Because what the Supreme Court just did is said the president is beyond reproach and the president is beyond the reach of the law. Dangerous.
Yeah, and I feel like enough people aren't having that conversation.
They're not having that conversation.
It's weird to me. Like
Okay, so you all heard that at the end of the day. At the end of the day, Sierra said they already had immunity. They're just putting it on paper. Well, here's the thing. Obama's the one that started that qualified immunity for the police. And he also gave them the blue alert law that said that if someone took the life of a police officer, that person would get the death penalty. But that's all fine and dandy if they're going to also do the same for police who murk people for no good reason. Shouldn't they, in fact, get the death penalty? Or it should at least be considered? When are they going to start doing that? Because I think that would absolutely discourage some of these overzealous cops who are racist from taking the lives of Black people who are unarmed and then lying and saying, oh, I fear for my life. Okay? Oh, I fear for my life at the end of the day. Rick Richards said, what about Crooked Hillary? Please don't even get me started on her, okay? Please don't even get me started on Crooked Hillary. I call her Killary. All right, because I know some things about her that I can't say on ScrewTube because I did once and they took that video down. But I think I'm going to do a whole revamping of it on Rumble, okay? So this is all just real crazy. The Prince of Paraphernalia said double standard uckery. Okay, absolutely. Absolutely. So with that all being said, let's go to this next video because the teen shooting victim who just passed away in Florida was the brother of Roger Forstman, the airman who lost his life at the hands of police when they went to the wrong door, even though they tried to lie and say they didn't. And they shot him because he came to the door brandishing a firearm that he didn't point at them, that he didn't, threaten them with or anything like that. He simply had it to his side. And also, it's important to note that the officer moved away from the peephole. So Mr. Forstman couldn't see who was in fact at the door, even though somebody's yelling, sheriff's office, open up. Well, if you don't see the sheriff's office out there, it could be anybody. I mean, people do lie and act as though they're the police or the ATF or whomever so they can rob you. Okay, specifically here in Georgia. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds.
We are learning about a second victim in a deadly shooting that happened Wednesday in DeKalb County. DeKalb County police tells us a 27-year-old man was also shot several times in the shooting there on Boulder Crest Road. We have also learned the 16-year-old boy who died was Andre Fortson. We now know his older brother, Senior Airman Roger Fortson, lost his life after being shot by a deputy in Florida back in May. More grief added on to this family during an already difficult time.
I don't know how Marcy is going to get through this. I don't know how anybody would get through this. I don't know. I pray for her peace. I've been praying for her peace since my little cousin Roger passed away. But now I don't even have words.
While the family asks for privacy, they do want to know how and why Andre was killed. We do know one person was arrested and booked into the DeKalb County Jail facing charges of aggravated assault with a weapon. We are working to confirm that person's identity. DeKalb police is still investigating.
Okay, so that's all very sad. My condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones of the young man. This is definitely a sad occasion. Definitely a sad occasion. Now, with that all being said, Roger Forstman just lost his life. What has it been, like maybe 2 months ago in Florida by a Florida deputy? So, yeah, very sad circumstances. And I think I said that happened in Florida. What I meant was the airman, Roger Forstman, was killed in Florida. Okay. So Terry Hinn said, very sad. It absolutely is. Mama said, so sad for the mother. Absolutely. Okay. Anita says, OMG, this can't be easy for the mother. My God. RIP in power. Exactly. It's really sad. Okay. Prince Paraphernalia said about 2 months ago. Okay. So anyway, with that all being said, this is a sad, tragic story. And we keep hearing all these, stories about there's these thugs out here in the streets who want to do drive-bys, who want to fire randomly into crowds, whether people are at parks or football games or whatever. They don't have any regard for human life. They don't care if it's children. They don't care if it's elders out there. They don't care. And then some of our people want to sit there and talk about no snitching. You're not snitching unless you're a criminal who's trying to get a shorter sentence, so you tell on other criminals. Other than that, you're just a concerned citizen, and it's up to you to do your due diligence and report crimes in your community. When did we become the same people who sit there and complain about crimes in our community, but at the same time don't want to talk about the crimes in our community, don't want to expose the criminals in our community? Why do we do that? Why do we do these things? Like, this is all ridiculous. Don't you realize that this too is a form of genocide? And where do you think the whole thing about not snitching came from? Where do you think that came from? You think we made it up collectively? No, that came from people who don't look like us. They painted that narrative so that those of us who are potential victims, who live in areas where there are predators, who live in areas where there's drug dealers and thugs and gang members, so we won't tell on them. So we won't say anything. And so, because if the police come and round all of them up, there would be a whole lot less crime in our community at the end of the day. Okay, the death toll that we have in our community of people would go down significantly. And I want you to pay attention to something. I've told you all before a myriad of times that, in fact, gang members are the foot soldiers. Okay, that's what they are. They're the foot soldiers. Please pay attention. All right, so all of these things are interconnected. 9 times out of 10, there are some police officers who hire gang members to go and intimidate people for them. There are some police officers who get drug dealers to sell drugs for them. There was one arrested in Georgia a few years ago, and she looked like me, and she got like 15 years after she was caught. So there's many of them that do nefarious things, and they get these gang members to work for them in some cases. I'm not saying in all cases, I'm simply saying in some cases. But at the end of the day, here's the question. You all don't think, no matter how many gangs we have in our communities across this country, you all don't think that the police could take them down, dismantle them, disband them? You don't think they could? I know they can. And you know how I know that they can? And if they really wanted to, they would, because that's exactly what they did to the Black Panther Party for self-defense. They dismantled them. They took them down, and they had numerous chapters in all these different states across this country. All right, thousands of members, but they took them down. Some of them were killed. Many of them went to prison. But nonetheless, they demonized and vilified them, and they took them down. You won't hear the government of the United States ever talking about how Ahmadiyyah Shakur defended herself as a Black woman at a young age when her and the rest of the Black Panther 21, when they had to go to trial for plotting bombings or whatever that they were accused of that they didn't do. And she defended herself pro se and won. Okay, you won't hear them talking about that. You won't hear them talking about how the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense started the WIC program for single mothers with children who were struggling. You won't hear them talk about how they created breakfast programs. That's why your kids eat breakfast in school to this day, because of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. But you won't hear them say that. Okay, you won't hear them talk about that. They got rid of them. They took them down. That was one of J. Edgar Hoover's biggest things that he wanted to do, because what did he say was the biggest threat in this country? He said Negro unity. And you see, here's the thing. If they started locking up these gang members or dismantling these gangs and all of that throughout the country, that would lead to our people having less crime in our neighborhoods and communities. That would lead to us being able to unite, because you wouldn't have this group against that group, rivals and all of that, taking out the very people who look like them, killing soldiers from their own army. You wouldn't have so much of that going on. Of course, there would still be crime, but you wouldn't have as much of a criminal element. Okay, so at the end of the day, they don't take them down because they don't want to. They want them to be in our communities, and in fact, some of them use them for their own personal gain. At the end of the day, they said, and I quote, "If we ever have another Black Messiah, it'll be one that they choose." Okay, it'll be one that they choose. So please pay attention. And that's why we have to be careful when you have people coming out here starting movements. You can't trust all of these people. Some of these people are federal informants. Some of these people work with the FBI because some of these people are criminals who had to sign certain deals with the feds so that they can evade prosecution. So you can't believe and trust all Black people, okay, nor should you at the end of the day. And that's also why we should not be voting for people just because they're Black. I think we all should have learned our lesson from Obama. And yes, I said Nobama. With that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. That's right, Sophie says not all skin folk is kinfolk. Exactly. Okay, Queen Sam said, and they wouldn't have those plantations, aka prisons, opened much longer. Exactly. Okay, so with that all being said, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And for those of you who follow the spiritual channel, I'll be live on there at 6:15 today. All right. Love you all. Peace.
Hit him with that flavor.
Sold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got